You know, because without social media, you're just going to drown. You know, you dinosaurs out there who don't have social media, you're going to kill yourselves. That's one thing I had to teach a Torpedo about too. That this is the new age. I sell so many comic books on Instagram these days. It's nuts. I bought a fucking Hulk 181 5.0 signed by Stan Lee off of Instagram from the store. That's the age we're in now. Everything goes through social media. I just like the idea that I'm going to you and I don't have to worry about people coming to us. And we're live, everybody. Holy shit.
We are live. It's OmniBros Live. We have a little intro into what's going on behind the stage. That was Gabe Infinity Watch telling you we are living in the age of Instagram because we have such a updated, furious Instagram program thanks to him. And I'm Omnidog from Omnidog's Vault. Thank you for tuning in to OmniBros Live Coffee with the OmniBros on a Sunday. I'm joined, as always, by Gabe Infinity Watch. Gabe, how's it going?
I'm doing good. What's up, everybody? Thank you for coming into the chat. Everybody watching, I have my coffee as well. And shameless plug, follow OmniBros Live on Instagram. We are dedicating a lot more effort into that social media presence. So check it out. Just kind of pat myself on the back, pat ourselves on the back. There's great content going up there. Alerts on books going out of print, new reprintings of things. We even got J. Michael Straczynski, of all people, to retweet our post about his Amazing Spider-Man Omnibus still being the #1 seller on in-stock trade. So there's some fun stuff going on there.
Yeah, Gabe's put a yeoman effort into updating that thing. So please go to our Instagram page where you'll get some exclusive content. And we also have Gio from A Week in Geekdom. What's up, Gio? It looks like you got a new haircut to me.
I know. It's you know, it's Sunday. You got to keep it fresh.
Right on, man. That's right.
But happy to be here with you guys and everybody in the chat. It's awesome. And to follow up on Gabe's Instagram plug, follow us on Twitter. I'm usually reposting and just commenting and liking stuff, but yeah, follow us on Twitter as well. We got a little thing going over there as well.
Gio, it's been a while since I've had a haircut, obviously. Do you go to a barber or a salon?
Depends on the mood, but both, really? Actually. Because I know good people on both sides.
Wow.
Salon and barber. Wow.
Yeah. Most metal men I know, they just do the straight up barber. And they've got the same barber for like 20 years.
I mean, like salon, you get the air conditioning and then all the nice people. I don't want to, I want to have a nice experience.
That's true. Most barbershops in Puerto Rico, it's just they have the air, have the windows open. It's like, yeah, okay.
And that barbershop opinion coming to you from Lou from Comics Guide 101. Lou, how's it going?
Good. I have not been to a barbershop in the past like 8 years. But yeah, if you go to a barbershop in Puerto Rico, it's usually 3 guys. They run it out of like a garage, and yeah, it's just the local people that know them.
I went to this one barbershop a long time ago, and it was weird because usually most barbershops you kind of just sit and you kind of wait your turn. This place, they would ignore you and just keep pulling people and would ignore your ass. You have to go up to the barber and go, "Hey, dude, I'm next when you're done with this dude." So you actually had to like be confrontational to get your haircut.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it was weird.
Wow, that is weird. Thank you, Joe Chip. He wants to applaud Omnidog's laid-back yet carefully studied fashion style. That's right. I did save this shirt all week for this morning. I was going to wear something casual yet perfect for the show, and I decided it was this shirt.
Very DC-centric with the Batman hat and the
right. Shirt. I decided not to mix my publishers.
Yeah, you can't cross-dress that way. That's like wearing Nike shoes and like an Adidas shirt or something like that, But it's also kind of controversial with your opinion on crypto being the best dog in comics too.
I know. I was definitely going to be poking at Gio with that opinion. I know that I could possibly stirring up the pot with Geo there. Such a Lockjaw fan, but
Lockjaw and Cosmo and
Cosmo and
yeah. And Salty the Sea Dog, and I could keep going with dogs.
Salty the Sea Dog.
Yeah.
Can't forget Ace the Hound either,
Ace
or
the Bat Hound.
Dino Mutt.
You might as well throw in Scooby. I just was looking at my flocked Scooby Pop yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Bat Cow.
Bat Cow. Yeah.
Bat Cow and
he was in Morrison's run.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Streaky.
Streaky's a cat, though. Oh, are we going all over the super pets?
Sure,
Horse.
What was the name of
people want to listen?
Comet is a super horse.
Mm-hmm.
What's the Red Lantern cat? The one that throws up.
Daxstar or something.
Daxstar?
Yeah.
Yeah. Supergirl's monkey is Beppo.
We could talk about the worst animal in comics, and that's stupid Goose the cat.
Oh, that's just hate. We're gonna be hearing from Kristan if she's watching.
Dude, did you see? Have you guys seen this? That Disneyland had like this attraction where you could line up to take a picture with that cat and to hang out with that cat. Stupid.
Oh,
that's worse than stupid angry cat.
We will be hearing from Kristan if she's watching. She will be flipping out.
Hey, in all fairness, that cat was the best thing about that horrible movie.
Go away.
Shut up.
That was the worst part of that movie.
There she is, not happy.
No.
We're sorry.
I totally disagree with Gabe. I love Goose, and I love her as a flirkin. Yeah,
I like
not going to be
Goose.
happy.
I like Goose from Top Gun. I like being Goosed, but Goose from Captain Marvel was terrible. I don't even mind going to the park and having a bunch of geese chase me because those geese are assholes at the park. If you've ever gone to like a flock of geese,
Aw. I dug Goose.
they will attack you.
Yeah, they will.
They're more vicious than pit bulls.
Yes.
Because just like Lou says, there's no such thing as a bad breed when it comes down to a dog.
Hell no. Those are just bad owners. I love pits. I honestly wish I could have a pit in the apartment complex that I live in, but they're very strict about that. Surprisingly, they haven't said anything about my Boston Terrier, considering she's considered a bully breed.
How about a pit fight? You have a pit fight in your apartment?
So.
Huh?
People judge by appearances, so because that dog doesn't look like a regular pit, like the family of pits, it's okay. They don't mind.
Yeah, but under the bully breed, like the umbrella, she falls in there.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything.
Well, that's funny because I have a Dutch Hound. I got a little wiener dog, and they are considered one of the more like vicious like breeds.
That's the only dog that's ever bitten me before. Was a dachshund.
Yeah, they're nasty. Mine's
as a young lad, I got bitten by a dachshund on the ankle. I walked into the house, boom, bit me.
I got bit by a Rottweiler once.
Ooh.
Wow.
I was coming home. I was coming home from college actually, and I still remember it to this day because it was the day that Mass Effect 3 came out. That's how big of a nerd I am.
Nice.
Mass Effect 3. That's what you remember?
Yeah, and I was going to like the 10 o'clock or like midnight release, whatever time it was for GameStop. So I was coming up to the apartment that I lived in. I still have the scar. And this girl, she couldn't have weighed more than probably a buck, like 100, 110 pounds soaking wet. And she had this massive pit, 65 pounds. Not pit. She had this massive Rottweiler, 65 pounds, and she just did not have any control of him. And you could tell the dog wasn't properly trained or anything. And so the dog just went right down the stairs. She didn't have control of the leash, and he lunged at me.
Wow. That's scary.
My sister used to date this guy who had 100-pound Rottweiler. Massive. Yeah. The thing was the size of a beanbag. But it was like
chair?
Like a beanbag chair, like back, when you were in college, probably, and that's all you had in your dorm.
Probably, yeah.
Was a beanbag and a bong.
That's
and your refrigerator had nothing but condiments in it.
mayonnaise and a jar and a thing of water. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But he was the sweetest dog. Like you could just my friends would come over with their newborn baby and just lay the newborn baby on top of the dog because it was just this 100-pound mass of a dog. Just this big fluff. That's cool.
Sucker lunged at me and I stepped back. He was actually going for my face, but he ended up catching me right here. And I still have the scar.
Did you have to go to the hospital and everything?
Yeah, I did. Well, I asked the guy, okay, first, the thing is that I didn't even realize how bad it was, but I ran upstairs, I looked in the mirror, and I was like, fuck, I'm bleeding. So I, like, pulled out my shirt, and there's, like, a chunk of meat just out. Like, he got me real good. And I was like, well, fuck. So I run downstairs, and then the actual owner of the pit is with the girl, and he's like, oh, shit, are you okay? Da-da-da-da. And I said, I need to fucking know two things. Does he have his shots?
Mm-hmm.
And has this ever happened before? Because if it's ever happened before, they're going to put this dog down. They're like, oh, no, he's got his shots. Da-da-da-da. And I was like, all right, fuck. So I rush over to the centric care. And they're just like, I run inside and I'm like, I got bit by a fucking dog. And I show them and they're freaking out at the front desk because I've just got like a little bit of meat hanging out of this side of this thing. And they're like, oh my gosh. So they rush me to the back. Long story short, the doc gives me an injection. He gives me a rabies shot and all this other stuff just to be on the safe side. And he stitches me up. And I don't know what the doc gave me, but I was fucked up. I felt like I had the flu or something like that the rest of that night.
That's from the shot more than anything, probably.
Yeah. It must have been a side effect from the shot. I felt horrible. I felt terrible, but I still went to that Mass Effect launch at midnight. I'm standing outside and I look like shit. People are looking at me like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm just shaking and just like cold sweats and everything. I felt terrible.
Just bleeding.
Jeez.
I remember this is speaking of no like crazy story that happened at a video game release for Gears of War 2. I was so excited to get Gears of War 2 that this is again at a GameStop release that I drove home and didn't realize I didn't have the lights on my truck, and I got pulled over by the cops and I got arrested and spent a night in jail. The only time I ever spent a night in jail was
because you didn't have the lights on in your truck?
Well, that's why I got pulled over, but I had like an unpaid ticket for like no insurance or something like that from a while ago. So I ended up spending a night in jail.
Oh, dude.
That was the worst. But I remember I had my Gears of War 2 shirt on. I spent a night in jail, wore the same shirt the next day when I got out of jail, went home, played Gears of War 2. It was awesome. It was almost worth going to jail that night.
You know they're going to film the new one tonight, right, Gabe?
I heard that there's another one coming out. E3, is that today?
It's today. Microsoft goes today.
Okay. I saw somewhere that PlayStation was not going to be at E3.
Nope, not this year.
That's interesting. But I do hope we finally get to see some Final Fantasy VII remaster announcements. That's all. That's the only thing I'm really looking forward to. We'll see what else comes up, but that's the thing that what has it been? Probably like 6 years that we've been waiting for that thing to come out.
Something like that. Yeah, it was during the PS2 era when we first heard about it.
Yep.
We do have a good question in the chat before we get to news. Well, we can't answer we will talk about the Vertigo news.
Yeah.
I'm debating on getting the Blackest Night Omni. Is it necessary if you have the Jeff Johns Omnis? John Anderson asks.
It's a good question.
That is a good question.
I read all the tie-ins when I was reading Blackest Night, and I don't think it's necessary, but it does help.
I also think that it's of all the events, it's one of the few events that actually has tie-ins that are good. So I would say, even though you have the event in the Green Lantern Blackest Night stuff and the Jeff Johns Omni, I would say that this is an omnibus that is worth getting because the tie-ins are actually good.
And there's not a lot of double dipping either. I mean, I think the Blackest Night Omnibus double dips it's really just the Green Lantern issues, the Blackest Night 1 through 8 issues, and maybe a few more issues I can't think of off the top of my head. I mean, I could look. I have it.
But for a
but
1,500-page book,
yeah, you get a lot more out of it, especially with those Green Lantern core that was never. I don't think it's ever been collected in a hardcover before, or at least not an oversized hardcover. And none of the tie-ins have been collected together in a cohesive setting like this. So I think it is worth it.
Hold on. So the Green Lantern core stuff, that's not in the Jeff Johns Blackest Night stuff, like for that omnibus?
Nope.
Nope. Oh, then this is definitely worth a buy. Yeah, you need that Green Lantern core stuff. The Green Lantern core series, while it was running next to Jeff Johns stuff, was at times even better than the stuff Jeff Johns was doing.
Yeah. Green Lantern core is awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, because that was when a lot of people were just like, how come this has never been collected before? You know? So, but that's a good book.
Thank you for the compliment.
The Omnibus is the Omnibus is a beast. I think it's massive. It's got to be, I think I'm looking at it, it's bigger than the Fourth World Omnibus, I'll have to say.
Wow. And the Final Crisis one?
I'm not sure. I don't have the Final Crisis one because that's impossible to read.
Yeah, I would say if you like the Blackest Night storyline, then absolutely get it. If not, you're fine with just the Green Lantern main stuff, then yeah. But in my recommendation, yeah, I would get it as well.
Gabe can answer the question. Do we know if the Omni is chronological or by series? How is it laid out? Gabe, you've looked at it.
I can't answer that.
Oh, you can't? I thought you looked at it.
I did, but there is no table of contents.
Oh. No. Oh, that's right. There's no table of contents.
There's no table of contents, so I'm not exactly sure. And again, I think this is a DC. This is very common with DC omnibuses right now, or DC collected editions. There's no issue numbers on the cover of when you're reading through the book and you get to the next issue and there's the cover. There's no issue number, so I don't know what order it's in at all. Maybe somebody who's a lot more in depth with Blackest Night and who knows the issues backward and forwards might be able to figure it out. But without the table of contents and without issue numbers on the covers, I have no idea where I'm at in that book at all.
Good heavens. Well, I don't have it because I had the series custom bound years ago, so I don't know. So I would have to, I don't know how I would find out, actually. So I'm sorry about that, Kenneth Holiday. We don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
And also, real quick, breaking news. Excuse me. I was going to bring this up earlier, but John Williams brought it up. I'm probably the only person who cares. But Spider-Man Clone Saga Volume 2 Omnibus is out of stock on Diamond. So basically it's out of print right now.
Oh.
Breaking news.
You omnibus collectors out there.
I actually, I knew about this. I bought one yesterday at the store.
Oh, you did?
I did. I kind of went a little out of print FOMO recently. So you'll see, because I also grabbed all my heroes have been junkies.
Oh
also,
yeah,
I found a copy of that.
That's a great book by itself, anyway.
Yeah, and I don't know if I really want to go that far back into X-Men, but Mutant Massacre is kind of on my list right now. Mutant Massacre Omnibus is also out of print.
It still has its IST cover on my bookshelf. Besides the
it's still in that magazine bag or whatever they put them in.
Besides I just looked at it yesterday, and I was like, well, that doesn't look right. And not only is it sealed, but it's still in the IST magazine bag that it comes in the mail. It's like something looks wrong on the shelf. I forgot to take it out, so it's like double protected. Do you want? I know that in the let's see, who was it that asked about that on the group page? Gary Russell was asking on the group page for your insight into the Amazing Spider-Man Volume 1 reprint, Gabe. Is that happening? Because it's not listed, or?
Okay, yeah, good question. So yes, it's not on Diamond's shipping list on their website for whatever backwards reason they might have, but the reprint of Amazing Spider-Man Volume 1 is shipping to stores this week. So my store, I would have to assume In-Stock Trades and any other store that has a Diamond account will be getting Amazing Spider-Man Volume 1, the new printing, in stores on Tuesday for sale on Wednesday. So we'll find out if IST has it, because hopefully when we get their spreadsheet with their releases and their discounted prices, that will be going over tomorrow right here on OmniBros Live, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern. So tune in then so we can confirm if IST has it or not. We might even have to just send them an email and ask and double check. Just in case they don't show it on their spreadsheet. I'm assuming they will, because I think they more or less just send us their invoice, their discounts. And because that's why I know it's coming out, because I've been invoiced for it. It's on my invoice. It's on my shipping manifest. So that's how I know it's coming out. So be on the lookout for that. It's a kind of a small week for collected editions. So that might be something you might consider getting if you didn't know about it before. Because the only other good book coming out is that Hulk Omnibus, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's a pretty light week.
Yeah.
I mean, after May, we kind of needed that.
Yeah, you're right. May was a book-heavy month.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting back to pretty big releases pretty soon. I know there's Hulk next week, which I absolutely really want really bad. And then there's another release, I think it's at the end of the month, that it'll probably be just me who would want it, and that's the Heroes Reborn Omnibus.
That is just you.
That is just me. I doubt that. Let me know in the chat. People, let me feel better about myself. If you want the Heroes Reborn Omnibus, let me know in the chat. Sound off. Let yourself be heard.
We're in DC Comics going, we got one.
Yeah. They're like, oh, we put out Blackest Night Omnibus. Yeah? Oh, but we left out the contents pages. Darn.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's not. There's no content page in it at all. No table of contents.
No.
Yeah.
And then
come on.
And the issues aren't numbered, so I have no idea where I'm at in that book.
What the fuck? Wow, that's horrible.
Yeah.
What would that have been? An extra 3 pages on a 1,500 page book?
Yeah, I mean, instead of the table of contents, you got like a new introduction written by Jeff Johns. That's it.
I don't care.
I know. I'm just saying. Like, there's no table of contents. So I have no idea, because the omnibus, I think it still says. I don't want to go over there and grab it. I think it gives the listing on the back cover of what issues are in there. And I think it still says "and more," and I have no fucking idea what that "and more" is going to be, because I don't know the table of contents, and none of the issues are labeled or numbered. Like, there's no title. It doesn't even say like Green Lantern on it. It just is the Virgin cover. So I have no idea what's going on.
Oh, it doesn't even say Green Lantern on it?
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Because the first issue, after you get through the first couple of pages, the first issue is, I forget what issue number it is, but it's that really cool cover of the Black Hand, like hugging his own grave or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's just that stat image. No, it doesn't say Green Lantern. It doesn't say there's actually absolutely no trade dress on any of the covers.
Oh, oh my gosh, I thought you just meant there was no number on it. There's no title at all.
Exactly. So unless you have to do some research, or unless you're like super deep into Blackest Night and you know the covers by just looking at them, it's going to be a little hard to figure out where you are.
Holy guacamole.
That's terrible.
Unless the table of contents is randomly somewhere in the middle somewhere. I don't know, but I flip through the front. I flip through the back, because the back has There's some pretty decent extra material in the back, but there's no table of contents that I was able to locate. So
I got it. The table of contents comes inside a SIM card that's inside the book.
Interesting.
Then I got to go find a phone from 1995 to put a SIM card in it.
With a special $100 bill bookmark that's this big. SIM card. Good pull. Wow, I didn't know that that the books were actually untitled, that the pages were untitled. I just thought you meant they didn't have numbers on them, but I didn't know they were just random covers with no titles on them. That's crazy.
Yeah, there's nothing. There's no indication on where you're at. They could just be lying to you and just throw in Marvel issues for all I know, and I wouldn't be able to tell. Oh, what's Wolverine doing in here?
It was a cross promo.
Yeah.
Holy
So I
smokes.
don't know if that was a mistake. I don't know if that was intentional, but they need to reconsider that idea when they put these books together.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that is such a major mistake. Wow. Holy smoke.
No, that's just lazy. Does it even have page numbers? Does it at least have page numbers?
I don't remember. I don't think so. I don't remember seeing page numbers.
You better
I don't get it.
better get a bookmark.
Yeah.
That's what that $100 bill comes for.
Right.
So if you
Wow.
wanted to skip around for whatever reason, I don't want to read Blackest Night Flash. I want to skip that. How do you know if you're going to skip it or not? How can you read through that entire omnibus and go, this issue, and this issue were the best issues and my favorite ones? You wouldn't be able to tell if this is your first time reading through Blackest Night. For all you know, the Blackest Night storyline is just 60 issues long, and that's it. It was just 1 through 60 for all you would know.
Yeah, Blackest Night was awesome until Grant Morrison shows up in the book and starts telling me he's my creator.
Nice.
Boy, you better hope that thing's in the right order then, because how would you know to skip around?
Yeah.
It better be perfectly lined up.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows? I mean, that's all subjective too to some people on what order it should be in.
Oof.
Do you remember how bad the Spider-Verse hardcover was? That was a mess.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah, but at least it had numbers and titles on it so that I could
Flip around.
flip around and put little yellow tags on it. What are
This is
those
the
things
equivalent
called
of being
again?
dumped in the desert with nothing but a bottle of water and no map or no compass or anything, and being told go to Disneyland. You're like, I don't know where I'm at. Like, what's going on here?
You guys ready for the news?
Yeah.
All
You
right.
want to talk about Vertigo first?
I was going to talk about Walking Dead first.
Okay, go for it.
Uh-oh.
Kirkman.
Kirkman.
Gabe, you kind of broke the story to us. What was it? Monday night?
Tuesday,
right? Because you looked at the issue and you said, whoever is getting Walking Dead 192, if you haven't gotten it, you might want to get it because it's going to sell, and it's going to be a big seller. And right off the bat, I said, okay, spoilers for people that still care about Walking Dead.
don't say it at all. Let's just skip that.
Really? You want to skip it?
Walking Dead spoilers is like the worst thing you can do.
Well, okay, they kill off
Something huge happens in Walking Dead.
They kill off a character.
Yeah.
And of course, I rolled my eyes and said, of course they did. And I'm sure Kirkman was really happy and he thought he was being all edgy and really cool and making a big shock to everybody. And everybody made a resounding meh. I heard almost no buzz about this online. Where if this had been a few years ago, like the peak Walking Dead, this would be all over the place.
Yep.
But there was a resounding thud online. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. It was like, all right, well, yeah, of course that was gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think you and I have mentioned this multiple times before that Walking Dead it's basically a Walking Dead itself. It's just been kind of meandering on forever, just kind of repeating itself over and over and over again. Same with the show. I think they're both starting to maybe wind down, and I think it's long overdue that these things start winding down a little bit. It did sell out. I had very few issues left on the shelf after doing pulls, just because everybody kind of knew what was going to happen, because the end of issue 191 is when it kind of first starts, and then 192 is the big, payoff, and you kind of see what happens with that. So there was a little bit of buzz with 191, which caused 192 for people to really want 192 and add that stuff after we already made our order. We couldn't change our order numbers anymore. And they're coming out with a special commemorative issue second print as well. So it has a little bit of a spark, but again, if this was at the peak of its height, if this happened during the peak of the TV show, it'd probably mean a lot more.
Yeah, this hit with a resounding thud with most people online, from what I've read. Because I was looking at comments and forums, and everybody's like, well, yeah, I mean, it was going to happen, and most people just didn't care. I just think it's hit its apex, and it's just on its decline. Just Walking Dead in general. It's not the series that it once was, where it was that water cooler TV show where you would come in. I would say it was on the level of Game of Thrones at one point.
It's bigger than that, yeah.
Yeah, where you would come in Monday morning and everybody would be talking about, oh, did you see The Walking Dead? Did you see The Walking Dead? Just end it, man. Just start heading towards the end game of this, because this if anything is any indication of just the fans and the really rabid audience is just starting to lose their interest in this. And it shows, because it's meandering. Like, it's literally, like you said, Gabe, The Walking Dead. It's just going nowhere.
Right. I mean, that's why I was saying no spoilers, because it's been a long, almost kind of like silent agreement to not ever do Walking Dead spoilers. It's always been a huge taboo, even more so than, say, like Game of Thrones. Walking Dead is a phenomenon, like one of the biggest phenomenons to ever happen in comics. I would say probably ever. I don't think we will ever see another Walking Dead kind of cultural fervor again. It was so huge. I mean, it's the most I've ever seen people, walk into comic book stores and go, "Oh, there's a Walking Dead comic." Like, yeah, Walking Dead comic's been out for like 12 years, before the show even came out. So it's one of those kinds of things, and I don't think you'll see that with anything else these days ever again.
They even made a Walking Dead pinball machine. That's how big it was.
Yeah.
They didn't go all the way like Kissed It with the casket and the condoms. Yes, you probably will.
Give us some time. Yeah.
Walking Dead at its peak, man, was where I could walk into my local comic shop and the trades would just be gone. Like whatever it is, people would snatch up the trades really quick, and they couldn't keep them in stock. Now, I don't know. I don't see the fervor that it once was. It's just, it reached its apex, and it's slowly declining. Like, the ratings are dropping, and AMC's solution to the ratings are dropping is, we're going to do 2 other spin-off shows.
And like a movie or something, too.
And 2 movies. 2 movies.
Jeez.
There's the Rick Grimes movie, and there's the Michonne movie that's rumored to come out. Because Michonne is leaving after, I think, this season. Which,
she's part of the Black Panther universe now.
Yeah, good on her. She's too good for that show anyway. She really is.
She's transcended for sure. Yeah.
She is way too good to be on that show. And I'm so happy she's like branching out and doing other stuff. She's badass. I love her. I think it's Lupita Nyong'o, I think is her name.
Denai Gurira.
Oh, yeah. I'm confusing her with somebody. Yeah, Denai something. Yeah. She's really too good to be on that show, though.
Plus, there's that spin-off show, and they want to do a 3rd spin-off show.
That's crazy. Yeah. Good for them. Strip mine it all you want. That's fine.
They are milking that cow dry.
Do what you got to do. Again, I mean, good on Robert Kirkman. I mean, that guy, came from nothing. You know, I think he was so low, and he used to be friends with Omar. now look at him. And that's fact. Omar said that he used to come and hang out at his basement. You know, that's what Robert Kirkman used to be. He used to be Omar's basement buddy. That sounded worse than I meant it to sound. But now look at him. You know, now he's got this huge, massive IP that really just took over the world. I mean, it's soccer moms and yuppies and everybody was all about The Walking Dead, and you know that's died down. But good for him. I mean, I hope he's banked that money hard.
Oh, if he wasn't intelligent with his money, man. And you know, meanwhile, Omar is still working in his basement, so some things never change. But if he was smart, man, I hope he's banked his money, because if not, whew, what a wasted opportunity.
Yeah, and it's funny to hear how he initially got Walking Dead to get published by Image, because he had to lie to him about the storyline. Yeah. So that's funny.
What was it? He said it was like a space alien story, right?
Yeah, he's saying it was a zombie story, but then later on the alien invasion happens, and that was the hook that convinced God damn, I can't think of the guy's name. Not Jim Valentino. One of the other, like Eric Stevenson. I'm gonna say Eric Stevenson to greenlight The Walking Dead, and then later on he was like, as the comic got more and more popular in the first few issues, he's like, okay, well, I don't see any hint on this alien invasion storyline you're telling me about. He goes, I just lied to you about that. Sorry. Yeah. Now look at it. Any means necessary.
Okay, so arguably we got two huge things to talk about this week. Arguably the biggest thing in the comic book world this week was Vertigo is in trouble. Vertigo Comics, after 26 years, DC Comics rumored to close Vertigo. Bleeding cool. So again, take this with a grain of salt.
I don't know. They've been right the past couple times.
Well, you never know. A broken clock's right twice a day, Jess. Bleeding cool has been informed by a number of sources this morning that DC Comics is planning to shutter its Vertigo imprint. This has come as quite a surprise to some, as I also understand that DC Comics has just greenlit a number of Vertigo projects for publication. Indeed, there are plans for a big launch of new books for San Diego Comic-Con, spearheading a new Vertigo thing. But I have been told that word has come from on high rather rapidly to make the change. Some contracts are being revoked, some creator-owned titles released back to their creators, and some will be moved within the publisher, and those affected are being informed. This Vertigo hasn't been the same since Karen Berger left. That was peak Vertigo, and Karen Berger, when she was running that thing with like an iron fist, the books that were coming out were quality. So it really sucks to see just the once amazing publisher is there's a chance we won't have any more Vertigo books. And when you look back at Vertigo's catalog, it's astounding. I mean, we're talking books like Preacher, Why the Last Man, Sandman, just
Scouts,
books.
American
Scout.
Vampire,
Fable, Sweet Tooth, Transmetropolitan,
DMZ,
Top 10,
iZombie.
So, yeah, I mean, in some ways, I can kind of see this coming, because they tried to relaunch Vertigo a few years ago with like a whole bunch of number ones, and it didn't take. None of the number ones really hit with anybody. And as sad as it sounds, it looks like this might be, according to this might be the end for Vertigo, which really sucks, because I hate to see Vertigo go down this road. But, these things are also circular. Give it a few years, and somebody will come up to DC and they'll be like, yeah, let's try to relaunch Vertigo one more time, or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, Vertigo hasn't been Vertigo since like 2008. So yeah, I think the loss of Vertigo happened a long, long time ago. I mean, these last relaunch of books were good quality books, like that. The new Doom Patrol was really good. Darwin Cook's last series was done through that recent relaunch as well. But they didn't have that Vertigo edge, which made Vertigo Vertigo. They were still pretty gun shy about anything controversial, anything kind of sexual and super over violence. and things like that. That really was what brought Vertigo into being that separate imprint. Because originally, like Swamp Thing was a regular line DC book, but then that got a little weird and kind of, was what it was, and that's kind of where the Vertigo imprint line came from to begin with, because of Karen Berger.
Yeah.
And then of course that spawned off like Swamp Thing, or that Swamp Thing and Sandman and everything else like that. But you still haven't gotten that edgy book like Transmetropolitan, like Preacher, like White Elastigman, anything like that. It's been pretty tame and kind of neutered for the longest time, especially after Karen Berger left.
Well, okay. We got Vertigo because Alan Moore had a plant fucking a woman, and DC went, we can't have this in our main.
Yeah.
So, do you think Vertigo not having that bite that it used to have? Because let's face it, you would not. I don't care what anybody says. You would not be able to publish a Transmet. You would not be able to publish a Preacher. You wouldn't be able to probably not even publish a Why the Last Man in today's climate. With everybody being so sensitive about every goddamn thing, you could not publish a Preacher.
No way Preacher gets published.
Like Garth Ennis would go up to Vertigo and they would kick him out of the building. Doesn't matter if it's you couldn't do a Preacher. You wouldn't be able to do a Transmet. Those classic books that we are revere and love today, you couldn't do it. And I think because of that, it's lost its bite. I think Vertigo has lost its bite, and it doesn't have it. And that's the sad thing. That's really sad, and I miss that age of Vertigo. Maybe it's because I'm nostalgic and I grew up with those books, but I miss it when Vertigo was Vertigo and they had that powerful bite to them.
Yeah, Vertigo was the only DC stuff I read outside of the Batman universe for the longest time. Just because DC was just, those characters never really did a whole lot for me, and I fully admit to being a Marvel zombie, but that's mainly because I was never too much into DC characters. But yeah, but nowadays with like Image Comics and all these like self-publishers and smaller press books, you can still get that edge and that bite, but it just isn't going to have that branding and that kind of luster with the Vertigo stamp on it anymore.
But at the same time, Gabe, nothing that we read a lot of comics. Can you honestly say there's anything published out right now that has that same oomph that Transmet had or that Preacher had in its prime?
It's difficult to there's nothing that pops up off the top of my head. I would have to look at it more and consider some things. But maybe something like Saga, but that was maybe in the early days of Saga when it had like the child sex ring that he stopped. Yeah. And things like that. But there isn't anything that is really people are talking about as being like, well, this is crazy book, this crazy storyline. I can't believe, how can you do that in comics today? You don't get that anymore. And it might be just the era that we live in. It'll be a while before you get anything like that, really.
I mean, look at Hellblazer. John Constantine fucks over a little kid.
Yeah. But now look at him. We can't even smoke.
Yeah.
Vertigo had sort of this free reign to do whatever it wanted before all these companies like Image and all that stuff. And you can't even compare Image. There's a certain censorship to it. Not a whole lot of Image titles go to the lengths that Vertigo once did back when it debuted. So yeah, that's part of the whole thing of losing its edge. And I don't think there will ever be another Vertigo, in my honest opinion.
It's gonna be hard, and I don't want to be like the corporate naysayer and blame corporate structuring and things like that. But the things that we've seen lately, especially after AT&T taking over, especially because I think we mentioned this last week. The first day that DC got a new boss through AT&T was the day that the Bat Dick thing happened on Batman Damned and the Black Label line. The Black Label line probably could have been the next Vertigo, but again, that kind of got nerfed as well. Chris M, I don't think Cross is coming out anymore. I can't remember the last time I seen a new Cross book.
I totally blame AT&T for those.
We're gonna get into AT&T in a little bit. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about that. I just hope it sticks around. I really do hope that it sticks around, and I really do hope that they get like an editor in chief in there that And be like, yeah, let's try to take this back to old school. Let's tell some good stories. Yeah, we're gonna offend some people. Yeah, it's gonna be controversial. But let's tell some
I'm sorry.
You're good, man.
Okay, I'm okay with Vertigo going away. I mean, things happen. You always get that kind of thing. But the idea of Vertigo
should stay.
The mindset of Vertigo, the storytelling, like Gio said, the kind of free reign. I don't want that to die in comics. I want there to be another company, another imprint, something out there where you could still get edgy adult. And adult, I don't mean porn, but I mean like, mature storytelling that we got out of things like Fables, that you got out of Sandman, things like that. There's still a marketplace for that. And I think there is a need to be filled, and whoever fills that need, I think will take off and will be a new exciting company or line or imprint, whatever you want to call it. But there is a need out there for that kind of stuff. So I don't care if it has a Vertigo stamp on it or if it's on some new company called Rubber Ducky. I don't care. It's as long as it has that mentality and that mindset and that free reign for comics and storytelling.
And Chris M, okay, here's the thing. Vertigo just didn't have a mature and adult stuff. Like, okay, Robert Kirkman put somebody's head bashing in. Okay, whatever. Vertigo had the story to back it up as well.
Yeah.
The stuff that happened for a reason. It didn't feel like it was just shock value. What Kirkman is doing is shock value. That's it. He doesn't have a story anymore. He's repeating the same story over and over again. Something happens, a new big bad is introduced, society crumbles, they restart again. It's happened, what, 3 times now?
More than that, probably, since the prison.
Since I dropped off around issue 1 something. And it was just the same. He's repeating the same story again with a few new beats thrown in to keep the readers that he's got. That's it.
Yeah. We're not going to get another scalped. I mean, even Jason Aaron, who did scalped, his what's his Bible book that he's doing? The Noah's Ark. Goddamn. I mean, that just doesn't come out. It's a good book, and the story is there, and the mindset is there, but that's just not a regular thing. Vertigo was very, very famous for, and it was a prestigious thing for creators to have a 60-issue run on Vertigo, and we don't have anything like that anymore.
You hit those 60 issues, and it meant something.
Yeah,
it's like that is it. You have your run, you have your baby. You could put your hat on this, you could put your resume, whatever. But it meant something back in the day when you had those 60, 70 issue runs for Vertigo. That meant you told your story, and that was it.
Yeah, 100 bullets. 100 issues planned out from day one to be 100 issues long, with some of the best art you're ever going to see. If you haven't read 100 Bullets, everybody definitely need to check that out. A continual story for 100 issues long that was not caught up in any kind of tie-ins or crossovers or editorial mandates, or this might be a TV show, so we kind of have to soften it a little bit and put on the kid gloves. We've definitely strayed away from that. So.
Is it possible? Let me ask this question. Is it possible that we're looking at this too granularly? Is it possible that Vertigo was of a time and a place when it dragged up all the books around it up to its level, and now Vertigo's done its job? Is it possible that Image and maybe some books at Marvel and some other independents have come up and filled the void that Vertigo filled, and maybe Vertigo's lifted everybody up, and now there's that level of writing?
I hear what you're saying. That they raised, the water level has been risen, and we're all now at that same water level.
Yeah, maybe the writing is now better than it was, and we're sort of accustomed to it, maybe because Vertigo helped raise the bar, and everybody, like Hickman and Remender and other writers, I don't know, have Jason Aaron have gone other places now and are writing their stuff at different publishers, and maybe they're telling the same kind of Vertigo type stories, but they're at different publishers now, and we've just gotten kind of used to it. Is that possible?
I agree. I think that's definitely. I think that's a wonderful point that you made. That we've risen to this new level, and that new level has now become the norm. But then I think it's been the norm for so long that it's become a little complacent. And I think it's time again, because that happens every generation. There's always going to be the bar is always going to be risen, and that's fine. We need that, but we also need a new set of creators, a new set of minds of mindful masterminds of storytelling to once again raise that bar and continue to raise that bar and continue to push the envelope. That's such a tropey thing to say, but to continue, where's the next batch of people that's going to continue to raise that bar?
I think you both hit the nail on the head. I agree with Jess. The bar was raised high from Vertigo, but I do think that we've reached the level of complacency, and there is honestly not a book that I'm reading right now that I could put on the stand that I can say, okay, that's the next level of Sandman, or that's the next level like Preacher-wise, or that's the next level Transmetropolitan-wise, where for me, there is nothing out there, and I read a lot of this shit, there is nothing out there that has that same, where I'm reading month in and month out going, I am reading a classic in the making right now. I am reading one that Preacher, when it came out, everybody was like crazy about Preacher. Everybody was fucking reading Preacher. Transmet had the same thing. Now it's a bunch of different books that are scattered across the industry that, people are reading them and they're really enjoying them, and there's nothing against that. Saga was that book for a while. But I think part of that ebbed and flowed, and that didn't keep up the pace of what it could have been. I know the more recent issue, I think the last issue that came out before the break, everybody was talking about it, but before that, it was kind of on a dip for me and a lot of people. But I just won't see any book out there that is that Preacher or that Sandman or that Transmet or that classic run like a Swamp Thing. That 20, 30 years from now, people are going to still be going, you need to read that.
Yeah, I think we've gotten into the complacency of just settling. There's a lot of great books out there. I know, Luis, you absolutely are loving Immortal Hulk.
So good. It's good.
And if that was a Vertigo book, I think a Vertigo book in the late 80s, early 90s would be a completely amazing thing that everybody would be flocking to. But I think we're just kind of settling for what we got now. There's really nobody trying to try something new or think outside the box. Again, that's super tropey, but I think it's a fact. I think we are in that realm of things right now.
Yeah.
And question from L Denver: does this mean the current run of Hellblazer trades don't get finished? So do you guys think that now that Vertigo is going away, that all the Vertigo reprints of collected editions, omnibuses, probably omnibuses, absolutes is going to go away, or what do you think is going to happen?
I think it'll get published. At least the stuff that's already coming out. It's not an ongoing.
It'll just be a black label thing.
Yeah, I think it gets published, but not under Vertigo, and it's going to make all those people with non-matching spine disorder flip out. It'll be like DC Comics or something instead of Vertigo, and people are going to get all whacked out about it.
They're going to cancel that resubmission of the Absolute Swamp Thing now. Watch.
Stop. We're almost there. We're almost there. What is that, September, October? We're almost there, man. Don't put that out there in the world, bro.
Never takes it.
Oh, man. Hey, we need to do our yearly bet. Last year I wore a Harley Quinn outfit. We need to do our yearly bet.
Oh, boy. This is the time to do it.
Yeah, we need to raise some money too. We got to start putting that out there for comic books for kids this year.
Yeah, comic books for kids. Is that the bet? Whether or not they're going to go through with the Swamp Thing?
Ooh, that's a good one. Give me some time to think about it. Yeah.
Well,
We need
the current release date is October 16th.
We need the stakes as well.
Yeah, there's plenty of time to. Holy smoke! I don't know if I want to be part of that bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that might be changing.
That is a
the
dangerous
world a little
bet.
bit. Yeah, we're gonna be putting that out there, and it might just happen.
Nobody wants to see me in drag again, I'm sure.
I'd rather see
dude
you in
just gave us
drag.
$2.
I'd rather
have
see you in drag than to not see that absolute come out.
Thank you, NFL dude.
Nice, man. Thank you. OmniBros bet 2019. It's gonna be a shirtless bet.
You know what? I'll do a Captain Marvel cosplay this time.
Oh my god.
I'm donating $25 right now.
Well, we're gonna have to make more than what was it last year? What was the
I think it was $500. Wasn't it $500?
$500?
I think we ended up making 500. I think we wanted.
It was like 250 or 300, something like that.
And we ended up making 500.
Yeah, we ended up shooting low because we didn't want to miss it.
It was $1. We wanted to make $1.
$600 gets me into the Captain Marvel outfit.
I will shave my goatee and I will dress up as who?
Ra's al Ghul.
Oh, I would have to.
I
would have to leave the goatee then if I was Ra's al Ghul. God, that'd be great if I was like female Thor. I'd have to put on lipstick and everything.
You should dress up like a Nightfall Batman.
I'd cut myself on something from his uniform.
Or a Nightfall review.
Nice.
Just saying.
Yes, please. Yes, please. He has to read Nightfall.
The whole thing? That's like 3 Omnis. I'm not spending money on that.
The first Omnibus. It's the best one.
The first Omnibus?
It's the best one.
Okay, so if
that's not saying much. You can't tell them you got to read something good.
Well,
so if I lose the bet, I have to read the first Omnibus and review the first Omnibus?
yeah, I want to say yes.
Yeah.
I don't think Jess is going to have a problem. You could do whatever crazy bet you want, Jess, because I'm fairly confident that we're going to get that in October.
You think we're going to get that book?
Yeah, the absolute's going to happen.
But will it Volume 2 happen? That's
now you're making things difficult, Gio.
Yeah, we need a bet for this year.
Not next year.
That's next year's bet.
And that, I mean, we could also tie that into the comic books for kids go fundraiser, because that was about the time we did it last year.
How about we make Jess like have a Ouija board in his background? Put it there on that bookshelf.
L. Denver just got really excited about that. He could just wear lipstick if he wants. Oh yeah, can I be female Thor?
Somebody said poison ivy. That is way too revealing.
Yeah, you might as well just get a couple pieces of like some leaves from your bush outside and just cover your naughty parts with it. Jess gets a Ouija board and tries to communicate with Jack Kirby if he leaves.
It's not the Ouija board itself; it's what it represents.
Yeah,
the unknown, the unseen things in those movies, which you can see if you go to my channel and watch Jenny's and my review yesterday of Hereditary and Veronica. That's what we watched and reviewed, and they both involved moving glasses and spooky spirits, which flipped me the flip out. Jess has to read more of Unreadable Squirrel Girl. No. That would be, I'll tell you what, that would be more painful than Nightfall.
Wow. That bad?
Have me read more of Unreadable Squirrel Girl.
Ooh.
That's worse. I actually think that's worse than Nightfall. Unreadable Squirrel Girl.
Unreadable Squirrel Girl. I'm gonna use that from now on at the store. That's hilarious.
We could put like a poll question on the community tab and see what people think would be the worst.
Yeah, Lou, you just missed that. NFL Dude 56. I used that name when I was teasing Tyler Blent earlier this week. I called it Unreadable Squirrel Girl. But and so NFL Dude 56, you remind me, are you in the chat? In the admin chat? How do you know that I called it Unreadable Squirrel Girl?
Probably an admin.
Probably an admin, yeah. Who are you, NFL Dude 56?
So,
but it would be more painful for me to read Unreadable Squirrel Girl than Nightfall, actually. I find
the entire thing?
Oh my gosh. Well, I was thinking one oversized hardcover, but
one oversized hardcover is enough. You can do a video on it.
I called it that in the stream with Tyler last week. Ah, okay. You just have a good memory. You have a very good memory, NFL Dude. Yeah. Yeah, that NFL Dude has a good point. That is something that I hate worse than Nightfall is Unreadable Squirrel Girl.
Why do you hate it so much?
I just think it's awful. I really, really think it's awful. It's unreadable. I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's fun. I don't think it's interesting. I don't think it's of interest.
Apparently enough people do, because that's like the highest numbered comic book from Marvel right now. I think it's on somewhere I think it's like in the 40s or something.
Yeah, it ends with issue 50. I just read they're ending it with issue 50. Yeah, I'm not disputing that it's a good book. I'm just saying that I just don't like it. I'm not saying it's not popular. I'm just saying it's not popular in this room. In this room, its sales are 0.
Okay, so we need to eventually move on from Vertigo. We'll hammer out this bet thing eventually. Okay, so who here likes the DC streaming service?
Yay!
Who here probably won't have the DC streaming service in about 6 months?
All of us.
Yeah. The DC Universe streaming service is being reevaluated as its parent company, Warner Media, is focusing on a larger overall streaming platform, according to Deadline. There have been questions how DC Universe fits into those plans, writes Deadline's co-editor-in-chief, Nelly Andreva, but doesn't say who is asking those questions. This report comes as the just-launched Swamp Thing live-action TV series, which we're going to get into that a little bit too, was canceled only 6 days into its first season. Isn't that about a bitch? The series was already under scrutiny as partway through filming, the studio had producers cut the first season from 13 to 10 episodes. But apparently there was something else going on behind that. There was like a paperwork screw-up or something like that involving a lot of money, and that's why they cut the budget on it. So long story short, we might as well enjoy this streaming service because I don't think we're going to have it for much longer.
So basically what happened was, and I kind of want to just clarify a couple things, because the word cancellation, I think, is causing people to think the wrong thing. Cancel in this terms basically means it's not getting to season 2. Season 1 is still happening. You're still going to get all the episodes, all 10 episodes of Swamp Thing. A lot of people misinterpreted that, understandably, that after one episode of Swamp Thing that was going to be it. You're not going to get episode 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 10. That's still happening. We're still getting all 10 episodes of Swamp Thing, just no season 2, because apparently they did not get their tax rebate from is it North Carolina? Yeah, whatever state it was, where they were supposed to get like this massive tax break. Didn't happen, so it cost them, I think it was like an extra $30 million. How much? 40 million. So they took $40 million on the chin, And that's what's causing this. And at the same time, with AT&T and Warner Brothers, they want to do their own. I'm guessing DC Plus. No, not DC Plus. I'm sorry. Disney Plus style service, where it's going to have all the Warner Brothers titles in their library of movies and TV shows on one streaming service, where instead of paying $8 a month for the DC app, you will now have the pleasure of paying more than double at between $16 to $17 for the Warner Brothers app.
With ads.
Apparently with ads. Wow.
Yay, TV.
Yeah. So, hey, the streaming wars are here, and guess what? They just want us to pirate their shit at this point. Because, I mean, the advantage is apparently that you get HBO, yay, and you get Cinemax, yay, porn.
But they don't do that anymore, by the way.
Yay, porn with clothes on.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore. They cut all that stuff out.
No more Cinemax.
Yep.
Oh wow, I'm gonna pour one out this afternoon for them.
Yeah, man, that was my junior high school years right there.
Jeez, yeah, 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, Red Shoe Diaries, I think it was called.
The following program is rated TV MA.
Yeah.
But yeah, 15, 16.
Brief nudity. That was the best part.
That was the best part.
Yeah.
So $17 a month with ads, and you're gonna get the HBO with it. And this, look, I don't know, man. $17 a month with ads, I'm not paying that. Like I'm not biting for that. Even if it has HBO and Skinemax on it, or formerly Skinemax, I'm not gonna pay $16 a month for this thing, especially when Disney. I don't know what made them think that people are gonna jump on this. Yeah, you've got HBO, but $16 a month when Disney is gonna be releasing their own platform later this year for $7 a month.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's Disney. That's gonna be your new babysitter right there. It's gonna be that Disney app. I think all this is gonna really turn into is I think Luis mentioned it before, is more piracy on the internet.
Yep.
Maybe this would be cool, but I doubt it. Maybe more physical media sales, more people picking up DVDs and Blu-rays instead.
I wish.
But also I think it's going to turn into more. It kind of depends on the way the accounts work. More people kind of just group sharing these apps.
Mm-hmm.
So for $17 a month, I'll people are going to split that between 3 or 4 different households, for sure.
And I'm one of the ones that I will die on the hill of physical media. I like to, I like to own my stuff. Video games, I could live with just having it on a hard drive. That's fine. But as far as music and movies and things like that, we've talked about this a million times before. We're just not there where streaming can compare to a disc, especially in the audio format, audio-wise. You're just getting compressed audio and visual.
At the end of the day, all this streaming, you're only paying for the keys to just open the door and view this stuff. At the end of the day, if they want to, they'll just take it out and you won't have it anymore. Get the physical media and you at least you keep it for however long you want. So just my thoughts on it.
Yeah.
No,
we're definitely turning into a world where we're going to eventually have absolutely no liquidity, where you'll be paying money and getting nothing out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's with all these streaming services. That's with digital downloading of things where you're paying all this money and you're getting nothing out of it. And it's happened before. It happens all the time, where one day something can happen and the servers get shut down and you have absolutely zero ownership over any of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And to kind of just piggyback, I find that interesting what ETL pointed out, and I agree. He says he finds it interesting that I like physical movies and music, but not books. I'm the exact opposite. The reason that I don't mind digital books is because a book is just that. It's just words on a screen for me. And I'm not taking away anything from anybody that likes to have the feel of a book in their hands. That's perfectly fine. But we are just not at that level where a movie through a digital streaming service matches the quality that you get on a movie that is on a disc or a 4K disc. Because what you're getting, like I said, is compressed audio and compressed video. So it's going great, and it's getting there. It's getting really damn close. But you're not going to get the same experience that you are, especially if you've got a really badass home theater setup, that you would from a physical disc. We're not there yet, but we are getting there eventually. Not only that, but then you run into the problem of, well, my internet bottomed out, so I can't watch this, or my internet, my data's getting hit right now because of data caps or something like that. And then you're just not going to get the same quality.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But hey, enjoy Swamp Thing season 1.
Well, we still got it. First episode was fast.
I mean, we had nothing. Just be grateful you get 10 episodes. Just saying.
Yeah, we're definitely living. I agree with you. We're definitely living in a world of just an abundance of amazing comic book material, live action on the screen in our homes, on our phones. I mean, everybody complains. You know, there's always these complaints that we don't have flying cars and that the Jetsons lie to us. You know what? Pull out your phone out of your pocket. That is your flying car, everybody. That's what we're getting instead of a flying car, is this type of advanced technology. Yeah. Where nowadays, you know, it used to be where comic books were where you got the big spectacles. You couldn't do things on the screen in a movie on TV that you can see in the page of a comic book. Now you can. So, and now we had 22 movies. You had 10 full years of back-to-back Marvel films. That is now the highest grossing movie of all time. DC tried. They did what they could. They had some cool stuff come out as well. We got all these apps, these streaming services, Doom Patrol, Umbrella Academy. There's so much going on out there that we are living in a fruitful time of this kind of stuff. So, but I'm upset because I don't know. I'm really excited for Young Justice. That it's in between like mid-season hiatus or whatever you want to call it. So I don't know if I'm worried about what's going to happen with the rest of those episodes, or maybe even season 2 of Doom Patrol or Titans or anything else. So.
Yeah, I'm really concerned about that stuff too, because this time last year when Titans first premiered, we knew we were getting a Titans season 2 before the season even ended. Doom Patrol ended. We haven't heard anything about a Doom Patrol season 2. Swamp Thing, we know we're not getting another season. They've been really quiet, and I hope that it's going to be, well, we're coming to No, they're not even coming to San Diego this year. Warner Brothers is pulled out of San Diego, so there goes Hall H, because so is Marvel. I'm really worried as far as the future of this streaming service and what are they going to do. If they're just going to ride out their original programming, what they've got right now, and then eventually just merge it all into this $15, $17 a month package, and then they're just going to use the DC Universe stuff to have kind of like the comic book stuff, kind of like Marvel Unlimited.
And we still don't know what the service is going to even include, at least with the Disney Plus app. We know we're basically getting almost everything on launch. We don't know if we're going to give it to Warner Brothers. Are we going to get all the movies? Are we going to get some of the movies? Are we going to get all of the shows? Are we going to get some of the shows? You know, stuff like that. So it's $17 and really nothing to really kind of show for it yet or give us any idea why it's $17 or why $17 is a price point that we should buy into. It's going to be kind of weird. So we'll see what happens with that.
So yeah, and that kind of leads me into my next big thing. Warner Brothers will not be at San Diego Comic-Con this year. So that means no Marvel panel and no Warner Brothers panel. So I'm actually happy about that. Maybe they could kind of just start focusing again on like comics, kind of scale that back a little bit, because the Hall H stuff I always heard was a nightmare, and you never even wanted to try to get into there unless you were like the most diehard of crazy people. So I'm cool with that. I'm cool with them kind of scaling that back. And I hope it continues.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, I know San Diego, the comic convention itself, the convention center, did a huge kind of bid to keep San Diego Comic-Con there, and they are trying to expand the convention center. So I wonder what's going to come out of all of that together, because like you said, Marvel's not going to be there because Marvel has D23. That's probably where most of their announcements are going to be held. So Will San Diego turn into more comic books? That'd be great for me.
Mhm.
But is that going to bring people into the show or into the convention as much? Most of that 150,000 people that go there for the big movie announcements and TV announcements and meet movie stars and things like that. So we'll see what happens with that and everything.
Well,
but I mean, you know, if it is more comic centric, cool. If something else rises up to take, you know, take that kind of that missing foothold that they have on it, we'll see what happens as well.
Well, this is just kind of the industry in general these days. I mean, look what happened at E3 this year. Well, E3 is today. Sony is not having a press conference. That is huge. Yep. I mean, you know, for whatever plans that they have, maybe they just didn't have anything to show today, and you know, they're waiting until next year when we get the PS5 and we get a bunch of other stuff. But Sony is one of the big three. For them to not have a press conference this year is huge. It's big. Like, it's really, really big. And it's kind of indicative of what's going on, where you're getting all these companies going, why the fuck are we going to pay for this space when we're just going to get overshadowed by a bunch of other news? It's too messy. You know, we've got to pay these corporations. Why not we'll put on our own little event, we'll rent out a little theater or whatever, and we'll stream it, and people will still pay attention, and we'll have all the spotlight on us. Disney's doing it too.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking when we mentioned, you know, Marvel's not going to be there, Warner Bros. Is going to be there, PlayStation's pulling out of E3. I think the idea that these companies need to wait and hold their announcements and save their announcements and hype up the potential announcements to be revealed at these conventions, I think that mentality and that course is going away.
Yeah,
I think that is leaving, because again, with our phones and with how attached all of us are to the internet at any time, also Sony could just do their own little announcement in their own building, in their own conference center, in their bathroom. Who cares? They don't even need to do a big spectacle event. They just need to release a couple of videos of their upcoming announcements and save all that money, all that travel, all that expenditures, and just do it that way. Disney has their own convention. They don't need to go somewhere else. They don't need to outsource their announcements. Nobody needs to wait for E3 or any other conventions to give them permission to make their announcements. They can make these announcements anytime they want. They could drop these trailers at the middle of San Diego Comic-Con. Everybody will be on their phones watching those trailers, whether they're announcing it at San Diego or whether they just press that publish button on YouTube. It doesn't matter that they have to all congregate to these big events anymore.
Hell, I mean, look, it happened this week. Death Stranding, that 8-10 minute long trailer that came out of that is an E3 trailer. Any other trailer, that would have been the closer for E3 with the release date of Death Stranding, and you would have Hideo Kojima come out and say, thank you all, and they'd show it, and they would close out with that. You just dropped it on a Wednesday. Like, yeah, here's the trailer. Here's a trailer and a statement from Kojima.
Exactly.
And that's more indicative of where I don't think cons are not going to go anywhere. You're still going to have con. Hell, I have a con popping up every single week in my town. I'm going to open a con in my living room pretty soon at this rate. But the industry as a whole is moving away from, why are we going to share this spotlight with these big panels and these other stuff when it's just going to get overshadowed by all this other news? Let's just put it on our own thing.
Yeah, there's been too many times. Look at the PS4 announcement and the Xbox One announcement from, what was that, like 5-6 years ago at E3, where it became a battle between Microsoft and Sony, where they were making fun of each other. They were cutting promos, making fun of the other announcements. The whole thing about being able to share media and being able to play rented video games and borrowed video games. You don't need to worry about somebody outshadowing you, or you announce your console at $600 and then the next day Xbox comes in and announces their system at $400, and you lose all good credit and you lose that limelight that you had. You can just do it whenever you want now. You don't have to be this back-to-back announcements anymore. You can now control. You have more control over how your announcements go, and not worry about somebody coming in behind you and upstaging you.
Jess, Gio, you've been real quiet. Anything?
I think you guys are more tuned into the pop culture zeitgeist than I am regarding cons and stuff. So that's why I'm so quiet. I don't really have an opinion on this particular topic. I missed my chance to rant and rave about AT&T, so I'm angry about that. I'm still angry about AT&T.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. I always love kicking AT&T.
Well, I think AT&T is sucking the life out of DC.
I agree.
I think that somehow, through a series of acquisitions over the past 10 years, AT&T has emerged at the top of the heap. We had Comcast, we had Universal, we had NBC, we had DirecTV, and now we've got AT&T. All those things ended up owning Warner Brothers, which owns DC. All those things are under one umbrella. That is a lot for one corporation to own. First of all, that is probably a crime in itself, as far as intellectual property, for one company to own that. As in intellectual property wise, monopoly wise, I'm going to put on my Theodore Roosevelt hat and say it should be broken up monopoly wise, but that's an awful lot of intellectual property to own, and it's going to DC is just going to be, I think, punished because it is not going to be looked at lovingly by somebody with a bird's eye view looking down on it like a corporation is going to. Now, I am not some kind of anti-capitalist rant and raver. I was an econ and business major in college, and I am active in the stock market. Everything else, go USA, yay capitalism, blah, blah, blah. But I'm talking about looking at the bird's eye view, top down, looking down at DC instead of the street level view of lovingly looking at this company with its characters. How can we do right by our fans? And how can we grow the business in an organic way that is going to benefit the fans and the creators? AT&T is looking straight down at it as a way to grow the bottom line business-wise, a way to grow it financially. And I'm not saying that's a bad or a good thing. I'm just saying that's the way it goes in the business world. That's the way it goes in their finance model. It is strictly a way to earn money. And we are not going to see, I think the way Disney looks at Marvel is a lot different than the way AT&T looks at Disney. I'm sorry, AT&T looks at DC. Disney is cultivating Marvel, and we're seeing good things come out of Marvel in comic books and movies and other pop culture media, TV shows. I think we're going to see a lot of good stuff come out of that DC Plus app regarding all things Disney, Star Wars, Marvel, whatever. I haven't seen any proof that AT&T is doing the same thing with Warner Brothers and DC, that they know how to cultivate the product properly and give us, the fans, what we need to help them with their bottom line even better. If you want me, your fan, to give you some of my hard-earned dosh, you're going to have to do better. As far as I'm concerned, AT&T. You're going to have to get it together as far as giving me what I want with a streaming service, with a digital service, with a collected editions department, with stories from your writers, treating your writers right, and that goes for movies, that goes for comic books, that goes for your TV shows, that goes for everything. That goes for everything pop culture, not just comic books. But I haven't seen anything that shows me that AT&T knows how to treat its intellectual property the way that Disney knows how to treat its intellectual property.
Well said.
I think Jess opened up some views, and I didn't think about it that way. I think you shine the light on, and I agree that it seems like Disney is doing a better job at cultivating a Marvel than what AT&T is doing with Warner Brothers and DC. A lot of time, we hear it all the time of DC creators or editorial or anybody saying that the reason these things happened was because of the corporate overlords. You don't get that. I haven't heard a lot of that with Marvel and complaining about Disney making changes or getting involved with their publishing side of things at all. It might have been here or there. I haven't recognized it, but it definitely hasn't been as robust as we've seen recently, especially with Batman Damned and the Black Label changes, and maybe even with the changes on the collected editions department and the restructuring that we had there. It kind of reminds me of when the comic book market bubble burst in the 90s, when big companies started moving in on Marvel. A lot of people might not remember or might not know, but Ron Perlman, who was a big time corporate bigwig who just buys companies to strip mine them and sells it.
Yeah.
Revlon and Ron Perlman, during the height of Marvel Comics, bought Marvel Comics, who bought the trading card companies, who bought the toy companies at the time, strip mined them until they fell apart, and that's when Marvel went into bankruptcy.
Yep.
Now, I'm not playing Chicken Little here and the sky is falling, but I'm just saying it's very reminiscent to what happened then with Marvel and Revlon being bought out by these corporate deities who just want to make a quick turnover. It's kind of seeing what is happening with AT&T doing the same thing. I'm not saying AT&T is going to strip mine and destroy DC, but I'm calling it in case it ever does happen. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it does seem very reminiscent of that, of the big corporate overlords taking over the small company to get what they want and not doing anything with it that is substantial. I mean, like with Disney, we got they bought out Star Wars, they bought out Marvel, they bought out Fox. None of that has turned into things changing at Marvel. Everybody thought, oh, Disney's going to come in here and you're going to get nothing but Mickey Mouse and Spider-Man teaming up and things like that. We haven't gotten that. What we have gotten has been great cultivated movies, these TV shows, more publishing, more IP, more T-shirts and toys and fun things like that as well. They bought out Fox, so now that we're going to get movies with the X-Men again and the Fantastic Four, and we know that they're going to be treated correctly. We're hoping, but more so than when another company like Fox first got the rights to X-Men and Daredevil and published just garbage movies. That seems to kind of almost be what we're getting with AT&T. Disney's making a Marvel land. They just came out with the Star Wars land. They are indebted. They are in deep with these characters and with these companies that they bought, and they're making them a part of their entire company, where you don't kind of see that with AT&T.
Well, Disney knows intellectual property, and I would say AT&T doesn't know intellectual property.
All right, let's kind of move on a little bit. Just the last two things. We're running really long on time today.
Yeah, this has been a great show, and I appreciate everybody who stuck around. This is probably one of our longer Sundays.
Sci-Fi is dropping Deadly Class and Happy, and both shows are seeking a new home. Anything to really talk about that? I liked the first episode of Deadly Class. I never watched anything else.
I haven't seen them, but Sci-Fi is notorious for canceling their shows, so it didn't surprise me in the least.
I can see Netflix just grabbing up all the free market shows they can, because again, with the Disney app, the Warner Brothers app, there's probably going to be like a Paramount Studios app and a Universal Studios app where they're going to start pulling all their libraries from Netflix. Netflix is going to be looking to fill all those slots, and I think they're going to just go buying crazy with all this open properties that's out there.
Netflix really has just become they just buy trash. They buy trash and they put out trash. Look, 90% of the shit on Netflix is not that good.
They can buy this show and put it on Netflix for all they care. I don't care. They keep it trash. Pay us.
90% of the stuff on Netflix is pure garbage. That's the thing with Netflix. And you still got that 10% like, oh, I'll watch Stranger Things and all. That's why I dropped Netflix, because I was scrolling through and I'm like, I don't want to see a fucking thing that's on here. Whereas when you have HBO, that they put out less original content, but when they put out their stuff, it's like it's HBO. There's a level of quality there. They just finished Chernobyl, which everybody is raving about. And Netflix is just buying shit and putting shit out, and they're like, yeah, but somebody will watch this trash.
Right. But I think that's what we're going to be seeing pretty soon is more of these types of things. If it falls off the TV, who cares? Fuck TV. Fuck cable. It's going to be Amazon, Netflix, Hulu, scooping these things up because they're not going to have anything else to really put into their streaming services after a while.
Yeah. Last thing that we need to talk about. I thought this was pretty cool. So Tarantino's Django Unchained crossover with Zorro is going to become a movie, apparently.
I didn't even know that existed.
Wait, what now?
Yeah, they're doing a Django and Zorro movie.
It was originally a comic book by Matt Wagner. Jim Lee did a bunch of covers for it. Yeah.
I am all for this. Writer Jared Carmichael has signed on to adapt the 2014 Django Zorro crossover comic into a live-action movie, according to Collider. The original Dynamite/Vertigo crossover was a sequel to Quentin Tarantino's 2012 film Django Unchained, with a plot by Tarantino, script by Matt Wagner, and then drawn by Esteve Poles. The rumor is that Tarantino is going to be helping out on the script, and we don't know if this is going to be Tarantino's 10th and final film.
Well, he's just producing it. He's doing very little with it, right? Yeah.
So far. And apparently there's rumors that he's working on the script also.
I'm more interested in what's the movie that he's doing right now about the Sharon Tate murders?
Oh, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Early reactions say it's his best film since Pulp Fiction. So I am looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm in. All right.
Oh my gosh. I totally had blown the IST promo.
No, you said it at the beginning.
I did? No, I didn't.
You didn't?
InStockTrades.com, where you can get your collected editions up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts add another 2% to that. I don't think so. I think I just went live into the show.
We talked about dogs.
We talked about what? Dogs? Yeah, we talked about dogs. There should be an Omnibros live code coming up soon. Over $50 in a order gets you free shipping in the United States. And fabulous service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com.
Yeah. Nice.
Oofa.
Come on, Jess.
Made it.
Ay.
They're the best. We love them. InStock Trades.
You want to do
join us tomorrow, where we'll go over in-stock trade deals, the releases for tomorrow, for this week, hauls, reads, everything else tomorrow.
I want to see what you hauled, because you teased that.
Dude, I got more too.
More of stuff I'll hate.
No, that thing I left at work. I got to go back and find it. I hope it didn't get thrown away or lost.
I totally want to see it now. You said I'll hate it.
Yeah, you are. I'm gonna call him right now after the show and be, hey, is that thing still there? Did I put it somewhere where I can go pick it up and don't throw it away?
I was gonna say let's leave it up to the face. I was thinking let's leave it up to the Facebook group what the bet should be, but no, they're vicious.
It's gonna be something naughty. Yeah. Well, not that we have to freaking do what they say, but
Facebook group. No, it should be the chat. I think the chat's more humane.
Yeah. Quote unquote.
And the chat's the one that's going to have to see it happen too. So
yeah,
if it's something really out of control,
and maybe they should they should help with what we're going to bet about.
Yeah, like
If
you
it's
know,
the
if they want to
Swamp
see,
Thing
they want to see
absolute.
Luis reinterpret the Olivia Munn mouthful of hot dogs situation.
Oh God, no.
What was that?
Oh, dude, I'll show you. I'll show you.
Yeah, it's a clip from G4.
It's an
Yeah,
old.
back-
Yeah.
Hey, 13-year-old Lewis thought that was really hot for some reason.
Yeah. 38-year-old Gabe still thinks it's kind of hot.
I will do it twice. InStockTrades.com, where you can get up to 50% off on your collected editions. Loyalty discounts add 2% to that. We should be getting an Omnibros Live discount code soon. Order of $50 or more in the United States, you get free shipping with that. Fabulous customer service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com. Oh, wait, let me see this GIF or GIF or whatever they're called. What
But
the
it just-
hell?
Yep.
What is that from?
Was it Attack of the Show back on when she was a host on the G4 network? Yeah.
Happy
That's
early.
Olivia Munn?
Yeah. They used to do all kinds of like awkwardly sexual stuff like that too in hot dogs.
Mhm.
Happy early Father's Day, Jess.
Father's Day discount code. Maybe that's what it'll be. Maybe we'll get it in time for Father's Day, which is what, next Sunday?
Next Sunday. Yeah.
Okay.
Sunday? Oh shit.
Well, my computer is running out of juice, so we should probably end the show. We
Yeah,
got
I'm ready
two
to get
plugs.
out of here.
Chat's been great. Chat's been really great. So thank you, chat. Thank you to all the people who've watched the show. We appreciate all our viewers, all our chatters.
Mm-hmm.
And Gabe, where can they find you?
You can find me Instagram, Gabe Infinity Watch. And then also make sure you follow OmniBroslive on Instagram as well.
We have a big Instagram Omnibros presence now. And Luis, where can they find you?
You can find me at Comics Guide 101 on Facebook and Twitter.
Gio, how about you?
Well, do me a favor. Follow me on A Week in Geekdom here on YouTube. And if you can, follow us, OmniBroslive, on Twitter as well.
We have a big presence on Twitter.
And review us on iTunes, please. It really helps us out if you guys give us a review on iTunes.
Please review us on iTunes. And you can follow me, Omnidog, at Omnidog's Vault on YouTube and Omnidogs_Vault on Instagram, where I need to do more stuff. Yes, I know. I'm terrible at Instagram. That's a young person's thing. I ain't young anymore. I'm an old dog. Okay, so thank you to the chat. Thank you to my fellow Omnibros. And as always, peace and love. Peace and love.